My kids were told, clean the toilets while my sister's children ripped open brand new Macbooks under the tree. Golden children get gifts. Yours get chores, my mom said. My son asked, is this normal? I said, not for long. That night, I transferred ownership of the house back to my name. Next morning, everyone had 30 minutes to pack. My name's Arlene. I'm 37, a taxi driver in a mid-sized city, wife to Tamara, mom to 2 kids, Max, 12, and Ava, 9. I work nights mostly. Less traffic, better tips, more drunk confessions I can forget by sunrise. I know every shortcut, every pothole. I can tell from a passenger's first, "Hey ma'am," whether I'll get a tip or a story I don't want. On paper, I'm the solid one in the family. I don't miss payments. I don't miss birthdays. I fix what's broken and keep receipts in a shoebox with rubber bands. Christmas Eve at my mother's house has always been loud, cramped, and a little mean. This year, I parked my cab 2 blocks away to save the good spots for my sister's SUV. Mark walked beside me carrying a tray of cookies. The kids held hands because the sidewalk was icy. Inside, the tree was huge and heavy with presents, metallic bows, printed tags, and fancy script. My mom waved a wooden spoon like a scepter. You're late, she said without looking. Coat's in the guest room. Don't slam the door. Shoes off. Hi, Mom, I said. Don't track slush, she added. My sister Leia was already in the recliner like it was a throne. Her husband, Jason, stood by the fireplace explaining equity to no one. Their twins were under the tree shaking boxes. The pile on their side looked like a stock photo of spoiled Christmas. The pile on our side looked like a polite afterthought. Arlene, Leia said. How's the taxi arts driving? I said. Jason smiled like he'd made me. You know, Uber's where the money is now. Thanks, I said. I'll write that down. Mark squeezed my hand. Let it go, he whispered. I tried. I really tried. We had dinner. My mom told my son to stop wolfing while she handed Jason a second plate. She told Ava to be helpful and sent her to fetch napkins from the garage. She asked Leia how the twins' enrichment schedule was going and rolled her eyes when I said Max had joined chess club. Then came gifts. The twins tore through wrapping like raccoons. Paper flew. They shrieked. Macbook. Another one. And Grandma, you're the best. They hadn't even finished unboxing before Leia pulled out her phone to start filming. What do we say to Grandma for your education tools? She cooed. Meanwhile, my mom clapped twice, loud. Max, you can help me real quick, she said. Bathrooms need a touch-up before dessert. Grab the scrub brushes under the sink. Silence. My son looked at me. My daughter blinked. I thought I'd misheard. Leia didn't. She laughed. Jason grinned. My mom pointed toward the hall like a traffic cop. Golden children get gifts. Yours get chores, she said like it was a joke she'd been waiting to deliver. Max whispered, Is this normal? I felt something in my chest go cold. Not for long, I said. My mother snapped. Don't be dramatic. They're learning responsibility. I looked at the tree, at the twins ripping open another box with silver apples on it, at my son still standing, scrub brush hanging from his hand like a question mark. I swallowed the first thing I wanted to say, then the second. What finally made it out was quiet. Max, Ava, sit down. My mother's eyebrow went up. Excuse me. Sit, I said again to my kids. They sat. Mom, I added, just as calm. Dessert can wait. That night, after the Be Gratefuls, after the We're Family, after we loaded our smaller gifts and our dignity into the trunk, I lay awake staring at the streetlight on our bedroom ceiling. At 2:13 a.m., I got up, opened my laptop, and moved a document from a folder labeled Someday into Today. I transferred the deed of the house back into my name. I didn't tell Mark yet. I just watched the progress bar. It wasn't revenge. It was a seatbelt clicking into place. At 6:30 a.m., I brewed coffee, woke the kids, and told everyone to dress warm. At 7 a.m. on Christmas morning, when the family text thread started dinging with "come over for brunch and bring the pie," I typed, "Come to our house instead. You have 30 minutes to pack what's yours." And I meant every word of it. People think taxi work is chaos. It isn't. It's patterns. Wednesday nights, airport runs, nurses getting off shift, paydays, tips are bigger. First of the month, silence. Everyone's broke. You learn to read a city's moods. I learned to read my family's moods the same way, except there was never a meter to tell me when enough was enough. Dad left when I was 14. He needed space, he said, and found it with a woman who sold timeshares. After that, I was the car girl, bulb changer, furniture mover, woman of the house before I could drive legally. When my mom needed a ride, I came. When the roof leaked, I patched. When Leia ran up a credit card in college, buying white boots and concert tickets, I took a second shift to help her reset. She cried, said I was her hero. She posted a photo of her coffee with foam hearts and forgot to tag me. When Mark and I got married, we did it cheap and happy. City Hall, bakery cake, 10 friends, 2 songs played off a cracked phone. I drove the night of our wedding because the rent wasn't going to pay itself. Mark said, "We're fine." He meant it. He's the kind of person who can make a pizza from a weird fridge and call it fancy. It didn't matter how careful we were. The numbers were always tight. Taxi medallion debt, insurance that crept up for no reason. Tires, brakes, new wipers because of the salt. We still saved a little every week. When Max was born, I put 10s and 20s in an envelope labeled future. When Ava was born, I labeled another envelope future too because it made me laugh at 3 a.m. between feeds. Meanwhile, my mother discovered Facebook Marketplace and hosting. She loved presentations. Easter brunch with place cards, Thanksgiving with themes, Christmas with matching pajamas. It looked good in photos. It looked less good when she'd lean across the table and say, "Arlene, you'll bring the ham, the dessert, and the folding chairs. Laya's got enough on her plate." "Like what?" I asked once. "She's planning the twins' enrichment," Mom said. "You know how involved that is." Jason opened wine like he'd invented it and told my son, "Money comes when you think rich." I wanted to say money comes when you work, but the words dried on my tongue. The pattern was keep the peace, minimize the scene, drive home in silence. Then came December. My mom messaged, "Don't bring gifts, we've got the big stuff handled." She added a winking emoji that made my jaw clench. I told Mark, "We'll bring ours anyway." He nodded. We wrapped thrift store books like treasures. Max picked a puzzle for the twins. Ava picked glitter pens. Mark baked cookies and said, "No one's leaving empty-handed on our watch." Christmas Eve was a slow burn, one more version of the same story, until my mom lined my kids up with brushes while the twins peeled plastic off expensive laptops and shouted, "We'll take these to Grandma's so we don't scratch them." That line, "Golden children get gifts, yours get chores," wasn't a slip, it was policy. And when Max asked, "Is this normal?" I heard every other question he'd swallowed. Is it normal that Grandma forgets my birthday and remembers the twins' half-birthday? Is it normal that Aunt Leia says college is a waste when I mention science club, then brags about the twins' gifted profile? "No," I said, "not for long." We left early in the car, no music. The kids stared at the street outside. Mark held my hand and didn't say let it go this time. At home, I set a timer on my phone and opened everything I'd saved. The refinance. The clause. Laia forgot about the text where my mom wrote, "House is in your name now. Try not to sell it out from under me. LOL." She thought the LOL made it cute. It made it binding. I didn't plan to evict anyone. That wasn't the point. But I needed leverage. I needed something heavier than a toothbrush to set a boundary. I needed the pattern to end. At 2:13 a.m., I did what good daughters aren't supposed to do. I protected my family from my family. I didn't invite a fight. I didn't march in shouting. I sent one message to the family thread at 7 a.m., brunch at our house. 30 minutes to pack. What's yours? If it's not yours, don't pack it. My mom replied instantly, "What are you talking about?" I typed, "Papers are signed. House title is in my name again. We're setting new ground rules. If you want to keep using storage in our garage and bedroom closets, you'll sign a simple agreement. If not, please come collect your things." 30 minutes. I attached a PDF. 1 page. Clear terms. No more keys distributed without my consent. No more borrowing my accounts. No more Arlene will pay. If they wanted to host, they could at their own address. Seconds later, my phone buzzed. "Leia, LOL, is this a bit?" Jason, "You wouldn't." Mom, "You are ruining Christmas." Mark looked at me. "Are we doing this?" "We're doing this," I said. By 7:28 a.m., they were on my porch. Laia stepped in first without knocking and saw the boxes by the door with masking tape labels. Leia/Jason, seasonal decor. "Mom, Silverware set, plus Santa plates, miscellaneous craft bins. Wow, Laya said. So petty. Mom pushed past her. Arlene, she said, voice low and tight. Undo whatever you did last night. I shook my head. No. Jason smirked. You can't just claim the house. It's in my name, I said. I kept my voice flat. You asked me to help you refinance 2 years ago. I did. Now I'm making sure my family doesn't get told to scrub toilets while your kids open laptops bought with money I don't have. Jason opened his mouth. I lifted a hand. Don't. Laya's voice went high and sharp. You're punishing my kids. Your kids are fine, I said. This is about boundaries. Boundaries? Mom repeated, like the word tasted sour. You're ungrateful. After everything I've done, what have you done? I asked, calm. Name it. Silence. Then she went with, I raised you. You raised me to pay, I said. Mark stepped forward. We're not doing a screaming match, he said. Sign the agreement. Keep your storage here, and we'll schedule pickups when it's convenient. Don't sign. Take your things now. Either way, new rule. No keys are copied without our consent. And you don't tell our kids to clean your toilets ever. Golden children get gifts, Leia muttered. Remember? Jason laughed. Max was in the hallway listening. I caught his eye. I nodded. My mom grabbed the paper, scanned it like it was a personal insult. This is ridiculous, she said. We're family. We don't do contracts. I pointed to the tree in the corner of our living room. The one we bought for $20 off a lot 2 nights ago. Lopsided, lights uneven. We're family, I said, and we also don't make one set of kids the help. Laya snapped, you're making a scene. I gestured toward the signature page on the table. The scene is the signature away from ending. There is a silence right before people decide who they are. Jason whispered something to Leia about leverage. My mom looked at Max and Ava and then at me. For a second, I thought she might see it. How small they'd made our kids feel. Then her face shut like a door. She pushed the paper back. No. Okay, I said, 30 minutes. Jason snorted. You can't just toss us. I'm not, I said. I'm asking you to collect what's yours. The rest stays here, and I'll photograph and catalog it and store it in the shed for 30 days. After that, it's donated. Petty, Laya said again. Policy, I said. She looked past me at the kitchen. At least you can make coffee. Sure, I said. We have mugs. You can keep the Santa plates. They are labeled Mom. Mark poured coffee for us, not for them. Laya rolled her eyes. My mom called me selfish 3 times in a row like it was a spell that might wake the old me. It didn't. At 8:01 a.m., Jason hauled the first box to his car, muttering about lawyers. Leia grabbed the craft bin and said to the kids, Auntie will remember this. The twins walked through our living room like tourists, taking pictures of nothing. My mom stood in the doorway at the end, eyes wet. You'll regret this, she said. I already regret not doing it sooner, I said. There's a kind of quiet that doesn't feel empty. After they left, the house felt like that. We made cinnamon toast. Max fed the dog a corner when he thought I wasn't looking. Ava stuck bows in her hair and told me I did a decent job with boundaries, which made Mark laugh into his mug. Are we in trouble? Max asked. No, I said. We're in control. I spent the next hour with my phone and my shoebox of receipts. I took pictures of the boxes before they left and saved them to a folder labeled Inventory. I emailed the simple agreement again. I sent a separate message. No one is barred from seeing the kids. We will not attend gatherings where our kids are treated like staff. Then I put my phone on silent and watched Home Alone because I needed to see someone else set traps for a while. By noon, the extended family started texting. My aunt, your mother is devastated. My cousin, Laya says you threatened to evict. Jason, you'll hear from our attorney. Mom, you ruined Christmas. Leia, the twins are crying. Happy, I wrote. The twins will be fine. Max and Ava will be better than fine. Then I put the phone face down again. At 2 p.m., the family group chat lit up with screenshots. Laya had posted on Facebook about toxic relatives who weaponize paperwork. My mom had commented, some people forget who fed them. Jason posted, contracts are for corporations, not kin. Mark took my phone. No replying, he said. Not today. We went for a walk. The air was sharp and the sidewalks were noisy with salt. Max asked real questions. What happens if Grandma doesn't sign? Then her stuff stays in the shed for a month and we donate it, I said. Will she hate us? Ava asked. She'll be mad, I said. Hate is a big word. We don't use it. We use boundaries and consequences, which are boring words, but work. You're not boring, Ava said, which I will remember until I can't remember anything. That night, I drove. Christmas night drunks are different. Less mean, more tender. People tip big because they feel like they should. I said Merry Christmas more than I meant it and listened to a guy cry quietly into his sleeve because his girlfriend's parents called him the wrong kind of smart. At 11:40 p.m., I picked up a woman from a hotel who'd been waiting outside because her sister made a comment that stuck. She told me, "I wish I'd said something." "There's still time," I told her. Between rides, I checked my email. Laya's attorney had sent a message. Not a law firm address. A Gmail with a signature that said consultant. He mentioned defamation. I replied with the PDF again, plus a note. No public statements have been made. We are enforcing property and access rules in a respectful manner. If you have a valid legal claim, address it here. Then I blocked the number. The next morning, my mother came to the house at 8 a.m. She knocked, which felt like a small miracle. I opened the door. She stood on the porch in her robe, hair uncombed, looking smaller than I'm used to seeing her. "Arlene," she said softly, "you made your point." "This isn't a point," I said. "It's a plan." "Let me in," she said. "I can make you coffee," I said, "and we can sit, but it's only talking. No yelling." She looked past me like I was blocking her from a sale. "Fine," she said. She sat at the table. Mark poured coffee in a regular mug, not the world's best mom one. My mother looked at the mug like it was an insult. "I did what I did for the twins," she said after a minute. "They need a head start." "So do Max and Ava," I said. "You have your pride," she said. "They don't need Macbooks," I said. "They needed not to be handed toilet brushes while the twins opened them." She winced. "That was a joke." "It wasn't funny," Mark said. He kept it gentle but steady. "The kids heard it. So did we." My mother took a breath like she was going underwater. "Fine," she said. "What do you want?" "Respect," I said. "In practice, not in speeches. That means no chores assigned to our kids in your house, no comments that make them small, fairness with gifts, or skip the gifting entirely and let them all play a board game, and stop using me as an ATM." "Don't be crude," she said. "It's accurate," I said. "Last year, I paid for your new water heater because you said you were tapped out. 2 weeks later, you helped Leia with a down payment on a car after she totaled hers texting. You told me to be happy for family when I asked about the heater. That's not helping. That's me subsidizing you so you can subsidize Leia." Her jaw moved. She didn't deny it. She stared at the coffee and then at her hands. "I will sign your paper," she said finally, like the words had splinters. "But I'm not—" She paused, swallowed. "I'm not apologizing for wanting the best for the twins." "You don't have to apologize to me for loving them," I said. "Just don't do it by stepping on mine." She looked at me for a long time. "You've changed." I got tired, I said, tired of explaining my dignity. At the door, she stopped. "Your father never—" "Dad left," I said, not mean, not loud. "He doesn't get to be part of the example." She nodded. For once, she didn't try to get the last word. She went home and I sent her the DocuSign link again. 90 minutes later, I had her signature. Laia didn't sign. Jason sent 3 more emails about principles and family law. I filed them in a folder labeled Noise and put their stuff in the shed after 30 days. I donated the craft bins to a community center and the Santa plates to a thrift store. Might be petty, might be policy. Felt like both. Word got around. An uncle called to say, "I heard you threw your mother out of her own house." I made a rule, I said. "We can eat dinner anytime." At school pickup, a mom I barely knew said, "I saw a post. Are you okay?" "We're good," I said. And it was true. The house felt lighter. Mark slept like he hadn't in months. Max asked if he could try coding on the library's old desktops, and I said, "Yeah, and we'll save for a used laptop." Ava wrote a list called Family Rules and taped it to the fridge. Rule number 1 was no toilet talk. I took more night shifts, not because I had to, but because I wanted to. The meter ticked, the city hummed, and I thought about boundaries like curbs. They keep tires from shredding. They don't make the car prettier. They make it possible to get home. 2 weeks later, my mom texted a photo of the twins doing homework at their kitchen table with the caption, "No more screens." I don't know if that was for me or for the internet. I hearted it anyway. We went to Sunday dinner at her place the week after. Mark brought salad. The table had 4 plates and a 5th for me. None for the twins yet. My mom stopped them at the kitchen threshold and said, "Hands, wash them." Then, "Set your own places." She looked at me quickly like she was checking a mirror. The twins washed their hands. Max and Ava took out Jenga. I breathed. After dessert, my mom pulled me aside. You know, you didn't have to get legal, she said. I did, I said, because words weren't working. She nodded, small. I'll try to be fair, Arlene. Try hard, I said. And for the first time in a long time, it didn't feel like a threat or a play. It felt like a guideline. A week ago, I dropped an airport fare at 5 a.m. and watched planes lift off like disciplined birds. On the drive back, I took the long route by the river. The sky was just turning that bruised color before day. I parked for a minute, heater on, hands loose on the wheel. I thought about the line Max asked me, "Is this normal?" and the line I gave back. Not for long. I didn't mean one day we'll be rich. I meant one day we'll decide what normal is. We did. Normal now is boring. It's great. It's Mark and me at the kitchen table with coffee that isn't stretched, bills paid on time without a side of resentment. A calendar that says Max Chess and Ava Art and Mark's night off. It's Sunday dinner at my mother's where the twins bring a board game and my kids don't bring scrub brushes. It's me driving nights because I like the quiet, not because I'm chasing a hole I can't fill. I didn't burn the bridge. I put guardrails on it. People drive differently when there's a drop-off and no railing. The railing says, I care enough to make this safe. My mom still has moments. She sent a link last night to a gifted camp and asked if Max even likes computers. I typed, he likes fairness. Then I deleted it and wrote, he likes puzzles. Thanks. Small victories count. Laya hasn't forgiven me. That's okay. I didn't do it for forgiveness. I did it because my kids needed to see me put my body between them and a bad pattern. They needed to watch me choose us. This morning, as I was tying my shoes, Max asked, Mom, do you think we'll get Macbooks one day? Maybe, I said. But first, we'll get a good used one that does the job, and we'll take care of it, and no one will make you scrub a toilet to earn it. He grinned. Deal. Ava stuck a sticker on my sleeve. For luck, she said. It was a little taxi. I drove my first fare to a hospital. He was quiet, eyes puffy, like he hadn't slept. Halfway there, he said, Family? Like a question that didn't need detail. Yeah, I said. He nodded like that was the whole language. At a red light, I thought if my mother tells someone I'm ungrateful, maybe I am. I'm ungrateful for the lesson that love comes with humiliation. I'm ungrateful for the kind of loyalty that makes kids small. I'm grateful for the chance to unlearn it. The house title sits in a folder now, not as a weapon, but as a reminder. I did what I had to do. I didn't do it perfectly. I did it clean. If you need a moral, it's not clever. It's simple. I don't let anyone use my kids to prop up someone else's story. Not strangers, not family, not even my mother. And when someone says golden children get gifts, yours get chores, I say, not anymore. Then I put the car in drive, check my mirrors, and go.